Welcome to the program. I'm Jane Mutoni. Residents of Kigali emphasize that they are happy to be able to enter the new year 2022 as they have been given the right to celebrate this time, contrary to last year. The new year has begun with 80 hospitalized in Rwanda because of COVID-19. Happy New Year to you all. These are the news in details. Now, residents of Kigali emphasize that they are happy to be able to enter the new year 2022 and have been given the right to celebrate this time around, which wasn't the case last year due to the COVID-19 regulations. On the other hand, they also say that last year left a great lesson for them in terms of saving for bad times. Innocent Mugawa reports.
At the home of Romami Andre, who lives in Kimisagara in Kigali City, his wife, children and grandchildren are sharing a meal while also listening to music. His son Malser Romami says it is important to meet as family to have a happy time and exchange developmental ideas. It is of great value when people meet and celebrate as family. It is also a souvenir that prepares us as his children for the future. On the first day of the new year 2022, in different parts of Kigali City, a large number of people were busy shopping for the day. It is a day that people express some little bit of joy over the fact that last year was marked by the severity of the COVID-19 pandemic.
I am from buying meat. The reason I'm celebrating this day is because I thought I wouldn't make it to this new year because of the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm from shopping for what we shall cook and fruits. I wasn't able to achieve my goals this year due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but I hope to achieve them in this new year.
As we start the new year, many agree that people should know how to save for the bad times because the COVID-19 pandemic has shown that things can change at any time. Our plans are to work hard and make sure that we compensate for these years we have lost due to the COVID-19 pandemic. It also taught us to be resilient, working hard not to repeat our previous financial mistakes. On the other hand, there are those who chose to take their families for travel for new experiences. They are happy that this year they were allowed to celebrate the New Year's Eve in accordance with the COVID-19 preventive guidelines. We came to have fun with my friends and celebrating for having safely ended there.
This is something of great value when they allow us to celebrate, and it also shows that we are respecting the measures in place.
Children are also happy that they managed to celebrate the holidays with their families.
I'm very happy that they brought us here. There is a lot of fun. There are many play areas. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
There are many things to play with here, like there and there. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
In his end-of-year message, President Paul Kagame asked Rwandans to embrace the achievements of the past year for the betterment of the country.
Ni ngombwa rero ko dukomeza kuba maso tukirinda. Ariko muri ibi byose twakomeje gushyira hamwe. Akaba ari nayo mpamvu twashoboye kwirinda ko byaba bibi kurushaho. Ibyo twagezeho muri uyu mwaka bigomba gukomeza tukabyubakiraho kugira ngo igihugu cyacu gikomeze gutera intambwe mu myaka iri imbere.
Although in some parts of Kigali City, many people are shopping for the New Year celebrations, there was less traffic in the city center, which means that many had traveled to join their families in celebrating the New Year's Day. Innocent Mugabo, RTV News.
Thank you, Innocent, for that report. Now, the new year has begun with 80 hospitalized in Rwanda because of COVID-19. They say being vaccinated has given them a fighting chance against a virus that has now killed close to 5.5 million people globally since it was first detected 2 years ago.
We spoke to 2 of the 45 people we found at the Kanyinya Center, and their identities have been withheld for privacy reasons.
Breathing is difficult for me, but I have hope that I will beat this. We may have gotten infected, but the fact is, things would have been much worse for us had we not been vaccinated, which is why I strongly urge people to get vaccinated.
I can tell you that I feel good now, and I'm waiting for them to take another test to verify that I no longer carry the coronavirus. I am confident that they will find me free of it. People should protect themselves from this virus because the threat it poses is still very great. People should avoid large gatherings so that we can beat this pandemic. 9 of the 45 people at the Kanyinya Center are receiving supplemental oxygen, one of them still in critical condition, though all have been steadily improving.
Since its reopening on the 1st of November, we have been receiving a few cases, but which was not severely sick. But afterward, during this new variant, Omicron, we started receiving many patients. Though they are not critical, they present few symptoms, and few of them are on a low flow of oxygen. So, in general, they are not critical, and those we are receiving, as they are vaccinated, most of them, they are not getting to the severe condition.
Across the country, 80 were hospitalized by the COVID-19 pandemic as Rwanda welcomed the new year. Unfortunately, one 72-year-old man succumbed to the virus before the new year started, raising its death toll in Rwanda to 1,350 lives lost since March 2020, when it was first detected within the country's borders. Regardless, the figures reflect that the country's aggressive vaccination campaign has helped to turn the tide when it comes to COVID-19 related fatalities.
During the year 2021 and the year 2022, at around this time there is a very significant difference. First, you will notice that we are having a bit higher positivity rate, and if you look at the number of deaths, it's significantly lower compared to last year. For example, if you draw back in the last 7 days this year, we have 5 cases who have died of COVID, but at the same time last year we had 23 cases who had died with COVID-19. So we record fewer cases who die from COVID-19, and this is very much linked to the fact that we have vaccines that have been delivered. People continue to be vaccinated, and the severity and the death rate also will decrease because of that.
As of Friday, more than 5.5 million Rwandans had been fully vaccinated against COVID-19, with more than 7.7 million having received their first jab. Another 195,143 people had been given their booster shot.
Parents who got newborns on New Year's Day say they are happy to start 2022 in this and are determined to ensure that their babies remain healthy as they begin their lives. Ghislaine Mugwaneza reports.
At Mahima District Hospital, 14 children were born between midnight and midday on the first day of the year 2022. 8 boys and 6 girls. The parents were happy for their newborn babies. Family members and friends kept coming to check on them, but with putting in place measures to fight COVID-19. Parents have expressed their happiness and have said they will do all possibilities to provide good lives to these children. I have given birth to a boy. It is gratitude to give birth in the beginning of the year. He came so fast because I used to come and spend 3 days here, but I have reached around 4 a.m. and gave birth at 11 a.m. I guess it was because I followed all the instructions given by doctors, and I wasn't stressed when I was about to give birth. They call them vision babies. When you give birth to these babies, you should plan for their education.
When I found out that I had impregnated my wife, we should take care of the children. You should eat well until you give birth, and they also ate nourished food. We kept on serving for them and providing what they need. By 2050, when you come back, you will see that I have achieved a lot, and my sons will be great people by that time.
Midwives in Muhima District Hospital have said that they still receive a big number of young girls and women that got impregnated by men they are not legally married to, and this raises concerns about how the children will be cared for. There are many effects because a child does not get full right he or she deserves. The child do not get raised by both parents as required to be raised by a mother and father. That child has no chance to grow in a rightful way. If a parent gives birth to the first child, second and third, and she's not able to raise them well, it will negatively affect our country. According to the officials in charge of social welfare and statistics, more than 300,000 babies are born every year. Parents are urged to give birth to children they are capable of raising right, as well as applying family planning. Ghislaine Mugwaneza, RTV News.
Thank you, Ghislaine, for that report. Now, the National Police caught 7,062 people for violating COVID-19 guidelines on the night of New Year's Eve, of which 102 of them were arrested in a bar in Nyamirambo sector in Kigali City. However, the overall report from the police says the security was tight during the festivities. At Nyamirambo Stadium on the New Year's Eve morning, the police paraded 102 people who were caught in one bar in Nyamirambo. The police say they had locked themselves in that bar, yet the capacity of occupancy should not be more than 50. They were caught around 1 a.m. Detainees, of whom are well known for their entertainment careers, such as in film and music, say they are saddened to be starting the new year while being punished for violating the rules and apologize.
We were celebrating the new year until we ended up at the stadium. We apologize to all Rwandans and we've learned a lesson the hard way.
In
Nyamirambo sector specifically, 5 bars have been suspended due to violation of the COVID-19 prevention guidelines. In this regard, the Executive Secretary of the sector, Saint Claudine, urges the owners of the bars to refrain from violating the regulations and contribute in combating coronavirus. We urge them as partners in the sector to abide by the COVID-19 prevention guidelines as they put this in writing so that instead of monitoring them, if they are doing so, they willingly adhere. The National Police says the security across the country was a success, be it on New Year's Eve and on Christmas, although there have been reports of arrests due to violating the COVID-19 prevention guidelines and 4 accidents, including 2 serious ones that were reported on the night of the New Year's Eve across the country, according to the police spokesperson, CP John Bosco Kabera.
Be it on Christmas and last night, the security of the people and their properties was tight, except for these people that we've shown you who violated the measures, and the number of accidents as shown in the overall report.
According to the National Police, 19,662 people across the country were caught last night violating the COVID-19 prevention guidelines. 500 of them were caught in bars, of which 102 were caught in one bar in Kigali City. Others were caught not wearing their face masks properly, exceeding the curfew hours, and others were not respecting the social distancing guideline. Kigali residents have been expressing concerns over so-called traditional healers that claim to treat any ailment when all they are doing is looking for ways to make money. Even recognized traditional healers admit there is a problem of people giving themselves such titles when they do not deserve them.
The people we spoke to were adamant that the problem has only been getting worse as time passes. They say they can treat any illness and condition just to get money and end up selling you purported male enhancement lotions and potions that do absolutely nothing.
You find that a person has crisscrossed every district claiming to treat the condition of being spendthrift, treating bad luck, and saying they give people good luck. In this modern age we now live in, I do not see how such things are possible.
Even established traditional healers are perplexed at how such a person can be believed. Human life is not something to play with. What would make you think a person claiming such things is really a healer? People should learn to be careful and pause and think when approached in such a way. And logic should tell them that if the person was really able to do what they claim, he or she would not need to go around peddling their products because people would flock to them. True treatment cannot be considered a business. Officials of the Rwanda Food and Drugs Authority say that even established traditional healers are not always as honest and transparent as they should be. The traditional healers that have been coming to us are immediately instructed to bring in all their products for assessment by the Rwanda FDA and testing so that they can then be registered. When all of that has been done, it can be determined whether or not the product meets required standards and actually does what the healer claims. We have seen people stop taking legitimate medicine for hepatitis and hypertension because of believing lies. In September 2019, the Ministry of Health issued directives that only people legally authorized to do it can advertise medical products. Since October last year, the Rwanda FDA has issued warnings to 24 traditional healing establishments and says punitive measures are soon to follow if the instructions are not heeded.
With the Rwanda FDA saying that an alcoholic drink that recently killed some residents in Kigali was not approved for distribution, citizens are calling for greater control over locally produced food and beverage products. A list of approved food and beverage industries in Rwanda will be released next week. Gloria Mutesi reports.
Last weekend in Kimihurura sector of Kigali City, 4 people were found dead after consuming alcohol suspected to be substandard, while others are in critical condition. Officials from the Rwanda FDA explained the results from the investigation of this matter.
Uruganda nta cyangombwa cyo gukora rwari rwarahawe na Rwanda FDA.
The factory did not have an operation license issued by the FDA. We didn't inspect this alcoholic drink called Muneza before it went to the market. We have found out that it contains methanol that isn't supposed to be consumed by human beings. It is possible that it's not just this factory. There are others too.
Birashoboka ntago rwaba ari uruganda rumwe, birashoboka ko hariho n'izindi.
Rabev factory in Bugesera district, which manufactures Umuneza beer, has been closed without any long-term investigation as it did not have the necessary documents to operate a factory. A cross-section of people believe that efforts should be strengthened in the inspection of foods and beverages made in Rwanda to avoid threats posed to people's lives.
Most of the alcoholic drinks that have effects on customers are usually not approved because once they're approved, they wouldn't have such effects. Most people would look at the products that are less expensive and consume that. Even the drinks that have been approved usually have gone beyond the expiry date. I heard of the news that some people took alcohol and they died. Government should properly inspect and see if factories are following the required standards. It's not right that they manufacture products that are harmful to people.
The FDA usually issues operating licenses to the industries and inspects the quality of the products before going to the market. However, the owners of the industries are required to follow all the regulations of other institutions such as RDB and others. Buyers and traders of these products say they assume that by the time the products are on the market, they've already been given a go-ahead by the responsible authorities. Many industries that are operating in different sectors across the country are said to be substandard in their operations, with local authorities not knowing if these industries are allowed to operate. Local Government Minister JMV Gatabazi is urging various agencies to work closely together to provide information on industries whose products are at risk to people.
It is a matter of concern, and we have taken a stand on our part in terms of performance, how they start, how they operate, and how they reach out to the traders. It has become clear that there is no cooperation. We are also going to work together so that whoever wants to start up an industry vows to do what they set out to do.
The FDA says a list of approved industries will be released next week, which means that those who are not on the list will be shut down because of most of them are working without any regard to their product's impact towards the consumers, but only for their own benefit.
Mu ntangiriro z'icyumweru gitaha twaba twarangiye.
By the end of next week, we will have completed the exercise and announced a list of industries that have been shut down and products that should not be on the market. What we are asking the public is to be aware of the products that have been removed from the market. Rwandans shouldn't drink them, even though they are pocket-friendly or on promotion.
Aho bakibona ku isoko atungira agatoki inzego z'umutekano.
Currently, there are 426 food and beverage products sold in Rwanda. 215 of them alcoholic products, and 73 of them are locally produced. Gloria Butesi reporting for RTV News.
Well, there you have it. On behalf of the entire news production team, thank you for sticking with us. I'm Jane Mutoni. Happy New Year once again.